or a bank book. I wanna walk in a store and get whatever I want, whenever I want. I promise nobody will ever go hungry. Not around me. No way. I say every day would be a high day. We party like a Friday. And if I tell you a wine, well, you must take a wine. If you don't, there's a crime day. Unless you have a man, there would be no racism, hatred or suppression. There'd be no form of depression. Not in my world. If I could change the world.
Greetings, greetings, greetings and salutations to one and all.
If I could change the world.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
I would make ice cream a breakfast.
It's a brand new week right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It's Community and Finance Night.
Would never have to work a day in a life. Every child would be a baby.
Brand new week, brand new month.
Trust me, what's a wonderful.
If I may say so myself, the best month of the year.
When we party like a Friday.
Yeah, I'm biased that way.
Must take the wine if you don't, there's a crime day. Unless you have a man, it will be all love and no hate. These are the things that I would do if I could change the world.
Want to say big ups to everybody locked in right now.
Change the world.
Those on TuneIn Radio on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Big ups to you. Those hailing from across the pond, One Harmony Radio. Top of the morning to you. Getting tongue tied. You see, that's what happens to me when I see beautiful women. You know? Oh my goodness, let me behave if I could only change the world. It's on the record, Drew working out to Drastic and Lily playing in the background.
Every other day would be Christmas.
But like I was saying,
We would feel no pain.
big ups to my affiliates, One Harmony Radio, over there in the UK. Top of the morning to you guys.
Mommy and daddy, trust me, what's a wonderful world it would be.
Want to say big ups to those on NIE Radio out of New Jersey.
We party like a Friday.
Big up the Motivator.
You must take the wine if you don't,
Much love, bro.
unless you have a man. It
Big ups to China Nicole.
and no hate. These are
I'm
the
a big brother Gary.
if I could change the world.
Over there in New York, on Ireland Worldwide, exhibiting the power of music.
If I could change the world.
Want to say big ups to those out of South Florida on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Much love to those out of Texas on Oliwap Radio, Dusick Media Group, and the WGLRO, home of the Donny Walker Morning Show, the People Station, taking it from the sheets to the streets.
I would make ice cream a breakfast. Every other day would be Christmas. We would feel pain.
Big ups to those who are hailing on PEMGTV.com.
Be a babe. Growing up with some mommy.
Those on Facebook Live, much love to you.
It's a wonderful world it would be. 'Cause every day be a high.
And of course, those right here at the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
It will be all.
So glad to have each and every one of you.
These are the things that I would do if I could change the world.
I couldn't do it without you. And believe me, you have my word, I wouldn't even try.
If I could change the world.
But if I could change the world like Ricardo, Drew, Lily, and Drastic says in the background, I would make this world better. Those of you locked in on Facebook Live, do remember, the segment, it's only a segment of the broadcast. Use the link that is pinned in the comment section. It's kevinstew.com. Come on over to Kevin Stew and jump into the stew pot. For those of you wondering what a stew pot is, you don't need to register. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't need to make blood offerings, offer your spleen, firstborn, nothing like that. Just go to kevinstew.com and jump into what others call a chat room. But because we're fancy on kevinstew.com, we call it the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. So come on in.
It will be all love.
Be a part of the festivities.
These are the things that I would do.
Believe me,
I could change the world.
you won't be disappointed.
If I
Now, if you know anybody that won't be able to tune into this broadcast right now, never fear. The podcast is there. The podcast and the YouTube channel of the same name, The Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Everyone will be able to lock in and tune in. You can comment. For those of you who want to call in as we are doing this broadcast, you can also do so. You see the number scrolling across the bottom of your screen. For those of you that are listening, it's 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. Once more, 773-789-7839. 789-7839. Did I say that enough times? Area code 773. You can call me on WhatsApp, Telegram, regular phone. You can text me. But of course, I invite everybody go to kevinstew.com and interact in the stew pot. Let's go ahead and make this world a better place. Call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. Don't leave anybody out. Not because you're not talking to them. They'll appreciate of this. You know, Cat is over there just dying. Okay, Cat, listen, come on, come join me, Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Great Britain 2021-2022. Yes. There she is. I should have pageant music playing in the background right about now.
You don't need that.
I don't need it? Okay.
No.
Oh my goodness. It is such an honor to have you join us, Kat. Welcome to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. I'm honored to be in the presence as I bow. It is not my first time being in the presence of crowned beauty. And having the very last Miss Jamaica, Florida, that was held live and in living color. I was co-host of that pageant. And that was 3 years ago, I would say. 2018, 2019. Now, it's all a blur. Because, 2020 was a blur. So, it's all a blur. But it's such a pleasure to be in the presence of crowned beauty once again. There are some people that are wondering, about the Miss as in MS versus MISS. And I will let you explain that a little bit. But before we even get into the pageantry, let's get to know Kat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Catherine Henry, and she's joining us all the way from across the pond. Right now, it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast. I can tell you, depends on how you look at it, it's much earlier or it's much later where she is, because she's hailing out of Great Britain right now. Thank you for taking the time out, Kat, to join us and to share with us. So tell us a little bit about Catherine.
Well, for a start, the only Catherine that ever calls me Catherine is my mum. So you can just call me Kat, Kev.
Gladly.
So that's fine. That is good.
Yes.
About me?
Yes.
What do you want to know? I guess I am Miss Great Britain. I am the first plus size woman of colour. who has ever taken that title. And the pageant has been running for 76 years. So to have somebody who looks like me
Yes.
to actually be crowned with that title is quite an achievement for a lot of different people. So yeah, it's a good move.
That's a
But
big
in
deal.
terms of who I am a mother. I have a almost 21-year-old daughter. I am a full-time Zumba instructor. So I teach Zumba fitness classes, and I'm a blogger, a plus-size model, and a social media influencer. And I'm also a local radio DJ. But Kevin, you're putting me to shame. Like, you have some skills that I really don't have on the radio. So I bow down to you. You're the king. I don't have them skills.
You know, flattery will get you everywhere. I want to thank you. Funny enough, you mentioned my skills. My sponsors are going to kill me. Please forgive me. I need to give a shout out to my segment sponsors. I have 4 segment sponsors, and it's best I shout them out now, because as we're chatting, I won't be breaking up into segments. You'll just see the logos on the screen. So let me give a quick shout out to my sponsors, my segment sponsors. First of all, thank you to Pulse Media Group. When being in a moment is priceless, give them a call. They can take care of everything you see right here on kevinstew.com and more. Videos, photos, streaming, ads. You have a seminar, a church service, a funeral, a party, a graduation, you name it. You have something you want to stream live, give them a call, 754-999-1140. That's 754-999-1140. Or check them out online at pulseemg.com. I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you. She brings her table, her oils, her Healing Heavenly Hands, and over 20 years massage therapy experience. Give her a call, 954-655-9000. Make your appointment today. You can also email her at thealater@att.net. She only has one request outside of paying her, that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done, because yours truly always falls asleep. So she makes that a rule for everybody. Okay? Trust me. I want to say thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global Entertainment will act as your booking agents, handle your tour management, your press releases, legal contracts, business registration, legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Give them a call, 954-804-8199, or check them out online at reggaeglobalentertainment.com. And thanks to McNeil Trucking. With McNeil Trucking, you're in good hands. For your moving needs, give them a call, 954-406-9740. Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you. All right? Much love. All right, so that kind of takes care of our segment sponsors. So I had to take care of that housekeeping. Thank you very much. I know you got into starting to introduce yourself, and it's just a bad way to get started and just interrupt you like that. But you gave me a segue and a little bit of a loophole to jump out. Much love to those on Facebook Live, some people healing, and I just want to big them up and do invite y'all to come over to kevinstew.com. Use up the link. Please do. Call your friends, tell your friends, share it with somebody. Orel, much love to you. Big ups to my cousin hailing out of Jamaica, who is tuning in, watching right now. Tomorrow would have been her daughter's Earth date. This coming Friday is going to be my Earth date. And my cousin's daughter recently passed away. And we're still celebrating her life. And so, you know, we send out much love to my cousin Sharon, that is tuning on Facebook Live right now. Much love to Heather, hailing out of New York. Blessings. George Prophet, much love. New Jersey is locked in. A bunch of people tuning just for you. Just for you, Kat. Because people want to know, you know. Hey D, much love. Come on over. Everybody, jump on over. Go into the stew pot. kevinstew.com. All right, come on over. All right, so 75 years of pageantry. Miss Great Britain. Going into 76. It was the 75th anniversary just now that passed, right?
No, 2020
That
was 75. So this is
75 was
gone. So
2020.
76.
Got you. So this one was 76.
Hmm.
First time ever a black plus sized woman has won one of the titles in the pageant.
Hmm. Yep,
Amazing.
a long time. It's been a long time coming. I feel like it's about time to see that change, and it's nice to be part of that. I'm glad I'm representing for women all over the world to show that we're just as worthy, and we can achieve great things as well. And I think it's our time. So yeah, I'm glad it happened.
Being a Zumba instructor, a mom, you said your oldest is 20 what?
She's 20. She'll be 21 in March.
Now, I don't know how things work in Great Britain, but you're allowed to have kids when you're preteens?
So I was 16 when I got pregnant, and then I was 17 when I had her. So I fell pregnant very, very early.
Oh,
It was unplanned, and
okay.
I I thought I was in a long-term relationship.
Yes.
I was wrong, and I was a single parent when she was born, and then I was very, very lucky. I met um, a gentleman who stepped in as her father
Yes.
and has been her stepfather ever since. And she was roughly about 18 months old when we got together.
Oh,
So
wow.
he has basically looked after us as a family and taking on the responsibility of being her stepfather since she was a baby. So I'm very lucky, very
That
lucky.
that is awesome. That is awesome. You know, I I I just thought you looked very young, but you are very young. And not throwing shade or anything like that, because things happen. And it helps us to get an understanding of who Cat is, Cat the person. People look on and they will see, or they see a picture, or they hear a title, but they don't really get to meet the person. And I am very interested in the person. I'm also interested in what the person, as a part of meeting the person, what the person stands for, and some of the struggles that the person has gone through to get to where they are. Because it shows a lot of character to be a single mom as a teenager, and to persevere and to push through, and to get to a position where the whole country recognizes you. Now, that's quite a journey. So we have time. Let's take a little bit of a walk through the journey of Cat, if you'd be so kind.
All yours. You ask the questions, I'll answer.
Okay, so here you are, teenager, and living up, enjoying life, doing all the great things that life throws your way, and here comes this curveball. Hey, Dr. Kelly Ray Brown, much love to you. Joanna Marie, hi, how you doing? Love, love, love. Special greeting to my friends down there in Brazil. Dora, much love to you. Radio Crystal Gospel, much love. Inviting you all, come on over. These people are hailing from Facebook Live. Come on over. Come to kevinstew.com. All right, use the link. Come on over. So here you are, Kat, teenager, all your life ahead of you. Curveball comes around. You are becoming a mother. Navigate us through that aspect of your life, as you guide us through that, as you navigated that aspect of your life, if you please.
it was daunting. Uh, as I said before, it was completely unplanned. Um, I had not been, involved in, a relationship for that long. I was quite young. Um, Here in the UK, the legal age of consent is 16.
Mm-hmm.
So if you appreciate, I was new to everything. And me and my partner at the time, we weren't in like a full-term loving relationship. We were both children, and we made a mistake, and it resulted in one of the biggest achievements of my life. I didn't know it at the time. I was very, very young. I didn't understand the gravitas of being a parent, and I was still a child.
Right.
So in my head, I didn't really understand the commitment and the level of responsibility that being a parent would involve.
Yes.
And had it not been for my mum, who was my sole understanding of parenthood,
Mm-hmm.
like if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't really have been able to have been a parent. I would not be the person I am today. And she raised both me and my daughter
Yes.
until I was in a position to be able to support her, mentally and emotionally as an adult. And that took some time. So I lived at home with my mother and my daughter, probably 6 years, until I decided that me and my partner at the time, the new partner at the time, so
Right.
we'd been together
Right.
for 5 years at that point.
Right.
We decided that we wanted to take our relationship to the next level. We moved in together, and it just kind of moved on from there. And it's been tough. I think being a young parent and, you know, kind of still growing up myself was quite an experience. And if it wasn't for the support system that I have and had at the time, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be who I am today. And it changed me. I grew up very quickly, and I
Right.
had to go straight into work. I actually, when my daughter was 6 months old, I went back to full-time work. I dropped out of college because I needed to support my family,
Right.
and I threw myself into full-time employment, and I've been working every day since.
Right. Right.
I've never been on, you know, like the welfare. I've never really, I've taken any benefit that I can financially take whilst working. And that, other than that, I have supported and provided for my family myself. And that is all testament to the way that I was raised by my mother. And she, made me realize in life that you have to work hard, you have to be tenacious, you have to be resilient, and you need to grow up and support your family. And I did. And, I think at the time, everybody thought that I would ruin my life, or
Mm-hmm.
it was going to ruin my life.
Right.
Um, a lot of people at that time probably wouldn't have ever thought that I was going to amount to much in life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all the way through my young teens and, pre-teens, people had always, especially like my teachers and people of authority, had always sort of passed me off as a mess up. I wasn't somebody who was going to do anything great or achieve anything major.
Right.
I was just one of these people that was going to coast through life. And look, I was pregnant so young. And, I had a lot of, especially within my church, I had a lot of people who, called me some pretty horrible names, treated me pretty badly, because they judged me before knowing me.
Right.
And I'm not ashamed to say that they probably, with all the information that they had at the time, they were probably right to think that, because I didn't give them any reason to believe anything different. But people grow up and people change, and I
Right.
had a lot of growing up to do. So I did.
It's interesting that you didn't let what, because again, here it is, you're involved in church at the time also, with your firstborn, and having grown up in church myself, and Jamaica not being very different from Great Britain because of the relationship with the two. A lot of the things that we do in Jamaica and a lot of the way that we are cultured tend to be a bit similar. And so growing up in church, the things like these, people kind of look down at you, and these are things that will kind of break you. And if you buy into it, then you'll pretty much end up thinking and believing, and as such, acting to support their theories. But thankfully, your mother was there to support you and guide you so that you could rise above that. And kudos to her. Is she still with us today? Because my mom has transitioned. Oh,
No.
my condolences.
She actually passed. She passed as a result of COVID in March 2020. So
Condolences to you.
thank you. I almost lost my father at the same time. They both got sick
Yes.
at the same time with COVID.
Yes.
He's still alive, and but COVID has caused him long-term health complications
Right.
as a result. So yeah, it was quite a difficult early period of the pandemic. So yeah,
I understand.
no, my mother, she's not alive anymore, but I guess she's still guiding me in a way. I hope so anyway. Otherwise I'm
Yes.
screwed.
Yeah, I know what that's like. Definitely, you still get the guidance. Definitely. Before we continue, I want to say, Facebook Livers, this is where we're going to part company. Come on over, call your friends, tell your friends, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too, because we're not leaving anybody out, right? Cool. Come on over, kevinstew.com. If you can't, well, do catch the podcast, do catch a YouTube, all of the same name, both of the same name, The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. All right, you can find the link on kevinstew.com. Come tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, your time, Cat. But you can find the link. It will be available. Come on over. You can catch up then, make your comments and such. All right, deuces, Facebook Live. Catch y'all later. All right, so here you are now in your 20s. Were you thinking, boy, I am going to be a Miss Great Britain? No.
Nope.
No, nowhere in your sights. Not thinking anything like that.
Okay, so a little back history. When I fell pregnant, I
Yes.
was a UK size 12, okay? In clothing size, in dress sizes, okay?
Okay.
I'm not sure what that transition is where you are, but
Mm-hmm.
UK size 12. So I was quite fit, quite athletic, slim build, and I was at a performing arts school. So I was dancing every day, very athletic, very sporty. And when my partner at the time, my daughter's father, left me, I basically developed a very unhealthy relationship with food. I suffered with a severe eating disorder, and I gained a lot of weight. And I went from a size UK 12 to a size UK 28 just throughout pregnancy.
Wow.
So if you can imagine, a 24 would be doubling my size.
Yeah.
28 is above doubling.
Right.
So, I not only was I growing up and going through puberty and my own bodily changes, but I was also dealing with bodily changes that came with pregnancy. And I was totally confused. I didn't understand, and I wasn't ready for those changes. So I started to really disapprove and hate the person that I had become in terms of who I looked like in the mirror.
Right.
So I struggled with my own self-worth, my own, confidence, and everything. I wasn't who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
I was also born with a calcium deficiency, which basically would leave my teeth very, very brittle, to the point that I could eat something as soft as a banana and my teeth would break.
Oh, wow.
And so throughout pregnancy, my teeth really deteriorated because obviously your baby takes all the calcium.
Exactly. Right.
And so my teeth would just break really, really easily, really quickly. And because I had such bad teeth all the way through my childhood because of my calcium deficiency, I developed a really bad fear of the dentist. So when I got into like my adult life, I just didn't go to the dentist because I was too afraid.
Right.
So my teeth would be breaking all over the place. Like I'd have like broken tooth here. I'd have a gap here. You know, I was so ashamed of the way that I used to talk. Like I used to talk with my hand in front of my mouth, and I wouldn't smile. I was so embarrassed about who I was, and that's me as a visual thing. Like I wasn't confident at all.
Yes.
And so I went through all of my young adult life kind of really, really ashamed of who I was, putting on a brave face, putting on like a smile in front of my friends. But I was deeply, deeply depressed and very, very anxious about everything. And I went through, you know, alongside severe depression, I was battling body dysmorphia. And, you know, I had no concept of the fact that my body was changing, and you know, I had a really, really bad relationship with food. I was binge eating, and I was just constantly gaining weight, and it was just getting out of hand. And then, you know, all the way through my 20s, I obviously was with my partner, and he was noticing that I was just, you know, always in pain, like where my teeth were breaking.
Yes.
I would have like abscesses, and I'd be in pain and have really bad toothache all the time. So I was overdosing on over-the-counter medication, like pain relief,
Right.
just to keep myself out of pain. And I became addicted to over-the-counter medication. Like I was taking it way more than I should have been taking.
Right. Right.
But because I was so afraid of going to the dentist, I wouldn't deal with the problem, which needed help.
Yes.
So I had to, and it went on all the way through my 30s, up until 2014. And one day I was in Nando's. I don't know if you guys have Nando's where you are, but it's like a peri-peri chicken restaurant. Like it's a big chain in Europe and the UK.
Okay. Okay.
So like big on chicken, love chicken. Gotta love chicken. But yeah, anyway, good chicken. Anyway, I'm in the Nando's restaurant and I was eating a piece of chicken and my tooth broke, my front tooth. And it was at that point that I kind of realized that I had no choice. Like this was such a visual part. Like I can kind of hide the teeth that were missing at the back by not smiling fully.
Right.
But my front tooth, you couldn't disguise it. I had to go to the dentist. I had to fix it. I was in so much pain. I had to go to the dentist. And when I finally went to this dentist, I conquered my biggest fear of actually just sitting in that chair and actually speaking to someone and them listening to me, you know, like, and this dentist kind of took pity on me, and he was so kind and so understanding of my situation. And he said, look, enough's enough. We're going to fix this. And he referred me to an NHS dentist, which basically meant that I could be put to sleep under general anesthetic.
Yes.
And they were going to take out 16 of my teeth. 16. And they were like, and not like full teeth, they were like broken teeth. So like 16 roots or teeth.
Right.
And when they took those teeth out, I was left basically with no teeth. So they fitted this, which is a temporary denture.
Okay.
So I now live wearing a denture. And I'm 38 and I'm proud to wear a denture. And a lot of people are like, you have a beautiful smile. And I always say thank you, because actually my smile is my biggest attribute. It's my best attribute. It's the one of the things in my life which I'm most proud of, because I conquered my biggest fear to rebuild my smile.
It's a story behind it.
Rebuilding my smile.
Yes.
Yeah, rebuilding my smile actually gave me the confidence to do to take my own life back and find the confidence that I had been missing all my life. And I started to do things that I thought I never would. I took part in my first modelling competition as a result of fixing my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And, Miss Curvaceous UK, which was the competition that I entered, it changed my life.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for me fixing my smile, I would never have done that. So a lot of people are like, what's the catalyst? What changed for you? And everyone assumes it's weight loss, but it wasn't. For me, it was my smile
Your
and my
smile.
confidence. Yeah. And rebuilding my smile has changed my life. So
You see, that right there, in and of itself, is one of those awesome stories that you hear of when you listen to some of these motivational speakers. And they have, you can get my book for $39.99 over on all these platforms available everywhere. And here is my story. This is one of those stories, and I'm not sure. I think people receive this a little bit differently because of the delivery. Here it is. You're born with a calcium deficiency. Now, people look on individuals and see what they're going through and don't know the story behind it. They just formulate assumptions. As a result of something as natural as a calcium deficiency, you end up with a pain medication addiction. And I'm not sure if people realize that that is the connection right there. So not only did you move through pregnancy, becoming overweight because your partner leaving you at the time, causing you to end up into binge eating, which is a disorder in and of itself. Now you're disliking your body. You're also disliking the fact that there's something that you do not have any control over. A calcium deficiency, which affects you in many different ways. You could have had breaking bones, not just breaking teeth, and here it is in 2014, a mere 7 years ago. You said, I am going to do something about this. And that was the moment that changed your whole life. That's amazing.
thank you.
So here it is. Now you fixed your smile and decided to enter this pageant. Where does Zumba come in?
So I have been dancing since the age of 3. I've done ballet, modern, street dance, jazz, Irish dancing, all kinds of dancing ever since I was a baby.
Okay.
And I love performing. For me, I've been also singing. My mother was a singer. My father is a musician. My brother is a musician. So I grew up in a very, very musical family. My mother was the choir leader for my local church for over 50 years. She basically raised us in church, singing in the choir. I used to sing at people's weddings and all sorts. So, for me, I grew up like that. That was who I was. And everything just kind of meshed all together. And, I had to find out what I wanted to do in life. And, I always wanted to perform, but because I fell pregnant, I had to drop out of performing arts college.
Right.
And like I said, go and find a job. And unfortunately, I went into the corporate world. I went into working in an office.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do a job that allowed me to be creative in any way. It was very just working in an office, admin-based, finance-based, nothing that really gave me the chance to grow who I was or who I wanted to be.
Yeah, little to no
I had
creativity.
opportunities. Yeah, like it stumped my creativity. It just
Yeah.
basically made me feel like I wasn't fulfilling any part of what I wanted to do in life.
Yes.
I just lived to work. I woke up in the morning, worked a job, came home, fed my family. That was it. That was my life. You know, the only thing that I would enjoy creatively would be, you know, going and taking part in dance classes and stuff. So I joined like a theatre company, and I joined a street dance crew, and we used to like perform in like music videos and stuff like that. And I won competitions and like karaoke competitions, but they were all like side projects. Nothing was major.
Right.
So I got the opportunity when I took part in my first pageant back in 2015 to actually become an aerobic fitness dance instructor. And because my sponsor was a fitness company, and she basically took me under her wing and she helped me through my training. And as a result of doing that, I kind of realized that I wanted to, although I loved doing like fitness aerobic dance, I wanted to do something that was a bit more dance based. And actually, me and my mum back in 2001, before I fell around the time that I gave birth, we found Zumba. And she actually, on QVC, the like World Shopping Channel, there was like an advert for Zumba, and everyone was like, what is this crazy dance form? Like, you know, like Taibo and stuff like that. Everyone was like, oh, it's just going to be a fad. But that was in 2001, right? So years and years ago, over like 20 odd years ago.
Yeah, funny enough, I remember that coming out.
Yeah. So the video, it was DVDs. They were DVDs. My mum bought them on QVC. She sent them. She had them bought for me. She sent them home, and she presented me with these DVDs, and she was like, "You're going to love this. Do these DVDs." So I was like, "Okay." So we put the DVDs on, and we were dancing together. And I love Latin music, and back then Zumba was all very Latin infused music, and I used to love salsa dancing and you know, like lambada and stuff like that. Like for me, I loved it. So when I heard all this music, I was like, "Mum, I love it." I was like, "I love this. I want to do this. One day I'm going to be a Zumba instructor."
Right.
And she was like, "Okay, well, let's just see if it hang around for that long," because I was still a kid at the time. So she was like, "Okay, let's just enjoy these DVDs." So we used to do them together. And then all the way through my life, we carried on doing Zumba. I found local Zumba instructors. I used to go to their classes. So I've been doing Zumba classes since 2001.
Wow.
So when my mum passed, I was cleaning out my house, my mum's house, and I found the DVDs, and I looked at them and I said, "You know what? My mum always taught me that if I wanted to achieve something in my life, I don't give up until I achieve it." And so I looked at those DVDs and I was like, "You know what? Now is the chance. I'm going to take the opportunity and I'm going to train, and I'm going to become a Zumba instructor." So I did, and I trained I trained in May. And it was easy for me because I knew all the steps because I've been doing it for so many years.
Right.
So I did the training, qualified, and then I started, because we were in the middle of the lockdown here in the UK.
Yes.
I started teaching virtual Zumba classes. So I just started teaching them at home, online, and then it kind of took off, and then I've been teaching them ever since. I was working like full time in addition to doing Zumba, and I was teaching it for free. I was actually teaching it for charity, and just making money for local charities, and then, you know, like not taking a wage from the Zumba, but I was working full time as well.
Right.
But then I was actually made redundant from my job in January this year. And I've always sort of said, if I ever got the opportunity to turn my passion into my full-time wage, like my full-time way of earning money, then I would like to take that opportunity. And luckily I was given like a redundancy pay out, and that gave me probably 6 to 10 months worth of money to be able to financially back myself.
Right.
So I took the bull by the horns and I became self-employed fully, and I became I'm an entrepreneur. I started my own business, and now I've turned my passions into my full-time job.
Look at that.
That's how it happened.
And the success stories just keep coming and coming and coming. Wow. You know, this is just one inspirational roller coaster. You know, the moment we hear something that you go, oh no, I'm sorry, it becomes, woohoo, yes, we get to celebrate another win. You know, this is. Do you go around doing inspirational talks by chance? You know, is this a part of what you do?
No, I would love to.
Because
I do some mentoring. I've
yeah,
done some positive mindset speaking on
right.
occasion, but I've never really thought about doing it full time. But actually, now talking to you, Kevin, and actually kind of laying it all out is kind of making me realize that actually people may benefit from hearing this full story.
Yeah,
And maybe I do need to look into that because there are a lot of wins and I've overcome a lot of adversity to get where I am. And, if it only changes one person's opinion or actually positively impacts at least one person, then I've won. And that's
you've
all I ever
done
really wanted to
your
do
job.
was help and change people's lives.
Kat, I have goose pimples because I can't tell you how much you and I have in common. I cannot tell you. I cannot begin to tell you. I'm a musician. I've played music in church all my life. I've been in theater. I've I this that is happening right now is my passion. I've been doing this for 10 years. There's so much that you and I have in common. It's uncanny. Now, one of the things that I will say, and I've said this to people, I sent it to I said it on a comment to someone on social media. If it wasn't today, it was yesterday. Nothing happens by accident. There's no coincidence. You know, everything is by design, and you get into it to be taken through it. You just need to recognize it when you get on the other end. So here it is. You. These are just, I guess, two of or three of the bigger things that have happened in your life, which have all been great stories at the end. But going through it, you how did you feel going through it? Because I'm going to assume that several times you thought, boy, why bother? What was it like for you going through it?
My life has been a roller coaster. I think that, I've suffered a lot,
Mm-hmm.
not only, personal growth suffering. I've,
Yes.
I've grown as a person. However, also, I've been at the hands of bullying. I was sexually assaulted when I was a teenager
Mm.
by somebody that I trusted, and that influenced every relationship I had after that. Um, Things growing up were very, very hard. I think, I struggled to kind of be able to articulate the feelings that I had and kind of be able to talk about the help that I needed. And actually, I only really sought that help later in life when, I was old enough to understand that my past heavily affects my future.
Yes.
And, it was tough growing up. And even, just going through the day-to-day life since then as an adult, like I had my mum, so I was very, very lucky. I obviously have my father.
Mm-hmm.
They got divorced when I was 12, so they're not a couple. But I've had relationship with my father, relationship with my mother. I
Right.
have a brother who, unfortunately, I don't really have a relationship with anymore. Um, I don't know why. I would love to know, but
Mm.
we were so close, all of us,
Yes.
and you know, things change, and I don't really have that relationship with him anymore. But that's how things go. And if it wasn't for my daughter, who is my best friend, and my partner, who is my best friend, and my mother-in-law, I really, I don't know if I would be if I would have got through losing my mum, you know, like
Right.
all of those things have a huge impact. Like my mum was my biggest cheerleader. She was my sounding board, my rock, everything. She was everything to me. Like even to the point that now, like I go to pick up the phone and call her when I have a big achievement, and I'm sitting there ringing the house, and I'm getting frustrated because she's not answering the phone. And then of course I think she's not gonna answer the phone. She's not there anymore, and that's gonna take a long time to kind of process and understand that she's not there, and she's
Yes.
never gonna be there.
Yes.
And I feel like, you know, those things take grief is a messy thing. To lose anybody, you know, especially a parent in life, is hard, but to lose a parent or lose someone in the midst of a global pandemic is ridiculously hard. Like all of these, you know, the things that you feel like you should be able to do, just, you know, having my mum was a devout Catholic, and
Right.
she, you know, she would have wanted her family with her when she passed. You know, she would have wanted to have her last rites and you know, speak to the priest.
Right.
She didn't get any of that because of COVID. You know, we weren't allowed to see her. You know, she was in the hospital on her own. She died surrounded by people she didn't know.
Right.
And for my mum, that probably would have been one of the hardest things for her to how to pass. And, you know, she hasn't had a funeral. My mum was a very, very poignant person within her church.
Yes.
And we haven't really had a funeral for her. We haven't been able to commemorate her life or anything like that because of the restrictions imposed by the pandemic.
Right.
She didn't want to be cremated, but because of the pandemic, we had no choice. She had to be cremated. There was no option to bury her.
Right.
So, you know, for me, all of those things, growing up and knowing what my mum's choices would have been surrounding her passing, and then having to actually deal with that on my own because my brother wasn't really that involved in those sort of aspects of my mum's death was tough. I basically did it all on my own. And I say on my own, I had my daughter and my partner and my mother-in-law and my dad.
Right.
But, you know, but it should have been both me and my brother doing that side by side. But because of the pandemic, that wasn't really possible. And I basically had to take on all of those responsibilities amidst losing my own job, amidst having to sell my mum's property, you know, all of these things in the middle of one of the most difficult years of everyone's life. And, you know, in that same time, I went back to college and I trained to be I did my official fitness qualifications so
Yes.
that I could be deemed as credible within the fitness industry, especially being a plus size woman. It's really important that people have the confidence to know that I'm not going to harm them, or I'm actually qualified enough to be able to effectively and safely teach them from a fitness capacity. So I went back to college and I qualified with my level 2 fitness exams. And for me, that was a big thing because actually I've had real like self-worth issues and capability concerns. You know, I suffered with like imposter syndrome, didn't think I was really good enough to be able to do any of those things because in my young life, my teachers didn't really believe that I was capable.
Right.
You know, they actually made my mother pay for some of my GCSE exams because they were convinced that I wouldn't be able to pass them. I did, but she had to pay for them, which is not the norm here in the UK. You shouldn't have to pay for your exams.
Right.
So yeah, it was. I would love to be able to turn around to those teachers now and sort of say like, hey, like, look what I actually did manage to achieve in my life.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe one day.
This would probably be one of the more personal questions to ask. So I'll make sure to preface it with saying that I have done this myself. Had you ever gone to therapy?
Yeah.
Because
But only as an adult.
me too.
Yeah.
You know?
As a child, it wasn't an option.
Yeah.
When I when I suffered with my depression and anxiety as a child, I didn't really. My mum tried to help as best
Yes.
she could, but she didn't really understand it.
Right.
So it was kind of hard for her to process everything that I was trying to tell her, all of the history that I had been through, and for her to understand. I don't think she wasn't able to kind of guide me through on that level. So she wasn't able to arrange counselling for me.
Right.
So when I got older, I unpacked all that myself with my doctor. Where I was gaining weight, and the doctors, my health was really deteriorating. Like I had various different health complications, which resulted in needing surgery. More personal things, so I'm not going to go into that, but they
Right.
were
Right. Right.
like more female based. Basically, I had quite a lot of issues.
Yes, I understand.
And so I had to have 3 emergency surgeries quite in quick succession. Um, and those all left me with like a really long period of like recovery each
Yes.
time. So, as a result of that, I was off work for quite a long time. Well, not off work, I was signed to be able to work from home only. So I had to do a lot of my working job from home
Yes.
because I couldn't travel to the office and back. So all of that sort of happened. It took a huge impact on my mental health, and I had no choice but to go through to have full CBT and full face-to-face counselling.
Mm-hmm.
I was prescribed antidepressant medication,
Yes.
which I was quite hesitant to take at first, and because I didn't really want to be reliant on a medical like a medication to improve my mood. I wanted to fix the problem.
Right.
But they needed to kind of couple the counselling with medication to get my mood into a position where I was able to function properly. And I think
Got you.
actually before all that, even before my teeth broke and I actually had my teeth rebuilt, at my lowest, Kevin, I was ready to take my own life. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
so depressed that I was convinced that I was a hindrance to everyone around me, including my daughter and my partner.
Right.
Um, I I was convinced that their lives would be better if I wasn't there. But a lot of people consider suicide quite a like a cowardly thing.
Yeah.
However, I actually think it's actually quite a brave thing to actually take your own life, like to accept that you have had enough and there's no way out for you. To actually be in that mindset and feel like there's no other option is
Mm.
actually really, it's not, I don't know if brave is the right word, but it takes a lot of courage
It's a
as a
courageous thing.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot to get yourself to that point to actually physically take your own life.
But it's a
And
point of being broken. You're
yeah,
you're broken at that point. You're literally hopeless. And seeing finding a way to see the light at the end of the tunnel seems impossible.
hmm
So even to come back from that point, here we are again, another success story. Having spoken with individuals, having done therapy myself, I one of my broadcasts is called Real Talk, and I look at how we interact with people, and some of the psychology behind it all, and that was one of the factors that steered me towards getting therapy myself, because I had questions about me. So it wasn't that I was submerged in depression or something like that why I went to see a therapist. But I say this to everyone. you know, Therapy is like the most amazing thing there is. Having the opportunity to sit down with someone that understands the psyche of the human being and can guide you through certain things and can help you to work out certain issues and even give you tools to work on them yourself. That's an amazing thing. And to grow from it,
It's
I
not for everyone. It's not for everyone. And I think that is something that, a lot of people assume that it's the be all and end all and it
yes.
fixes everything. It doesn't.
No, no,
And
no.
actually,
You still need to do
I,
some
I
work.
went through a lot. Yeah, I went
Yeah.
through a lot of different therapists and a lot of different therapy functions until I found something that worked for me. And it it was like a point where you have to find somebody that you truly trust, that
Hmm.
you know is impartial, that is listening to you without judging you. And actually,
Yes.
there are a lot of therapists out there that already have made their impression of what your diagnosis is before they've actually unpacked everything for you. And I feel like actually within the NHS here in the UK,
Hmm.
there isn't a lot of time. You're given maybe 6 to 10 sessions at most. And who can unpack all that life and all of that history and all of that hurt and pain in 10 sessions?
There,
It takes time.
I think those
And
would be in it for the business of it, not for the service of it.
mm,
But that's my opinion. You know, and but the ability to speak with someone, the ability to get in touch with what you're feeling and work through those feelings is what I think is a big deal and a big helper to individuals going through things. So you could be the ambassador for so many things at this point. Teen pregnancy, calcium deficiencies, and working through them. The um, body shaming, depression, suicidal thoughts, losing a parent. Well, I could be in on that one too. My mother transitioned on Valentine's Day.
oh,
So
I'm so sorry.
this coming Valentine's would be 13 years. Next February will be 13 years. But still, it's Valentine's Day. And I have come to a point where I changed how that what that means for me. Now, it's not what it means for everybody else. And people looking on and going, "Oh no, Valentine's Day must be horrible for you because of what Valentine's Day signifies." And I tell people, listen, it's the greatest display of love ever. My mother suffered from multiple myeloma for 15 years. The average person dies after 7 or 8 years with that condition. Well, back then, because it was new, well, quote unquote new. And my mother donated her body to science, to medicine in Jamaica for them to study what multiple myeloma does to the human body and ways to fight it. So I learned a lot from my mother like that. And hearing you talk about your mom, hearing you talk about how you've gone through life and some of the downs and the successes that came up after it, the hills and the valleys, this is such an inspiration. If not to anybody else, it's an inspiration to me even. And I have my own inspirations. So, you know, one more jewel on that crown for you, lady. Because this story here, I really didn't know what I was getting into, to be honest. And I'm glad I got into it. Speaking of crowns, this pageant, yes, and I see your beautiful crown right there. It is just stunning. I love it.
Thank you.
Having gone through or entered this pageant, Miss Great Britain, were there any naysayers in your ears going, why are you doing this? You know it's just a waste of time, right? You
hmm
know, don't waste your time. Did you have that
I
going on?
think, yeah, and I think actually I had it from my own personal demons, not
Mm.
only other people sort of in my ear sort of saying, they're never going to crown you. You don't fit the mold. You know, look at all the past winners. They've all looked a certain way. You don't look like that. You're not going to
Mm.
succeed. And,
Right.
you know, I've also my own inner demons thinking, actually, you're a fat black girl. Like, you don't make, you know, you don't make headline news
Mm.
looking the way I do. And you don't get the opportunities as a woman of color, as a plus size woman of color in society today. I have to work 10 times harder than all of my counterparts to be able to be seen, heard, worthy, understood. You
Yes.
know, I have to work harder.
Yes.
So, you know, of course there is always going to be people who say that I'm not the right person to win. And Kevin, I've had it. You know, I've heard on the grapevine that people feel like because of the color of my skin, I'm not worthy to represent Great Britain. You know, things that, you know, I I was born here. Okay, fair enough. My parents were not born here. However, they're both British citizens. You know, they've both been naturalized. They both came over as children
Yes.
and they raised two children to be British. And I am a proud British woman. However, I'm also a proud South African woman and a
Mm.
proud Mauritian woman. I have roots and I understand that all of that makes me who I am. You
Yes.
know, Great Britain is a truly multicultural country, and actually, we should be celebrating, you know, our differences and the different cultures and nationalities and everything, you know, ethnicities within this country, because it doesn't dilute Britain. In my
Right.
opinion, it only makes it greater. And I, I find that really, really hard to understand that people have an opinion that because of the color of my skin, I'm not worthy to represent my country where I was born.
Mm. I guess
And
that kind
that's
of
hard.
that is I would go out on a limb and say if there's any message that you go out with, as in you put on your sash and your crown, excuse me, and you are present anywhere, a big part of the message that you want people to take, even if you don't say a word, a big part of the message, I'm assuming, is understand that I am a product of this country and I represent what this country is. Would I be right in my assumption?
Yeah. My what I stand for is representation.
Mm.
I I am a big stickler for equal representation of all different ages, races, sizes, shapes, ethnicities, you know, genders. I want everyone to have a fair and equal seat at the table because we are all capable of achieving success regardless of our differences. And in this huge melting pot of a world, we should be able to raise each other up, find and celebrate and exult in each other's differences, and find, you know, and help each other find success
Yes.
without having to be negative towards each other or, you know, to tear each other down. And I actually feel like, you know, there is plenty enough space at this table for everyone to find success, but we spend so much of our lives kind of, you know, at each other's throats, not supporting each other. But actually, success comes from empowering others, sharing knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and networking, and actually talking about positive experiences which help and influence other people's positive experiences.
Right.
And that doesn't come from negativity. If anything, that breeds hate. So we need to be kinder to each other, judge each other a little less, and actually listen to each other and understand our differences make us really unique and not something to be ashamed of.
I want to share something with you that I don't know if this will work for you as it has worked for me. I heard you mention a word that I spent some time addressing on one of my broadcasts, hate. And it was really interesting looking at that word. And so I fashioned the motto of kevinstew.com, which is have acceptance through enlightenment of out of that word. If you take the first letters of each of those words, it spells hate. We tend to put in that hate category things that we don't understand. Whether it is we don't care to learn about it, whether it is we just nobody took the time to explain it to us. Things that we don't know about, we tend to hate. People of oh, I lost cat. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're back. Okay, great. Lost you for a moment there. You know, we hear that there's a shark in the water and everybody gets out because they hate sharks. But the shark is going about its business. It isn't concerned about you or anything like that. You know, these things happen. And so we never take the time out to get to know about something. So I kind of fashioned of hate, have acceptance through enlightenment. And many of us try to do that without knowing it, but still hold on to that little bit of hate. You know, I encourage you to continue being Kat. Continue being that success story that you are, that achiever that you are, that goal-oriented, determined woman, that product of Great Britain that says Britain is not just that thin, long-haired, blue-eyed, light-complexioned individual that you see over there wearing that other sash, but it is this one too. This plus-sized woman of color that has been born with deficiencies, that has had a hard life, in that these things happened and we had to work through it and build on it. So here it is, we've come across these boulders which we now look back at and realize they're stepping stones. Because up until this point, you have a 100% record, a 100% success record. Think about it. All these adversities that you've gone through, even the most recent one with the naysayers, even yourself being one of your biggest naysayer, you proved yourself wrong yet again. You can do it, and you have done it. And today you wear the sash of Miss Great Britain 2021-22. Look at that. And you proudly do it. At the beginning of the broadcast, I had asked you to hold off on explaining the MS versus the MISS. If you could just guide us through that little bit of it now, because someone on one of the social media platforms made a comment and asked, is the MS the same as MISS GB? Tell us a little bit about that.
So for the last 75 years, there's only been a MISS category, so MISS.
Right.
And that was because it ran from the age of 18 up to 27.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the upper age limit. For their 75th anniversary last year, they introduced
Mm-hmm.
a second division for women over the age of 28.
Okay.
So when I competed last year, I was the first named contestant in that category to the MS
Right.
Great Britain category, and I came third. So when I went back this year, I knew that I wasn't ready to just be happy with third place.
Right.
So I wanted to achieve that goal and take that home. So I worked really hard, and I went back again, and we're standing here today. Also, because of the 76th anniversary, we introduced yet another category that's called 40 plus, our
Right.
classic division. So you have the mixed category,
Yes.
so from 18 to 27. You have the Ms, which is mine,
Yes.
from 28 up to 39. And then the classic Ms, which is for ladies over the age of 40 plus.
40 plus. Yes.
And there's no upper age limit. You could be any age and
Right.
take part in Miss Great Britain. But they're
Nice.
all under the same umbrella.
Right. Awesome. Because the pageant that I co-hosted had four categories: Miss Jamaica Florida, Miss Teen Jamaica Florida, Little Miss Jamaica Florida, and a younger category.
Preteen.
Preteen, yeah. So there was that. So yeah, this is awesome that they have expanded in this way. So now that you have gone through and you have silenced some of the critics, what has it been like for you, and where do you go next? Did I lose you again?
No, I'm
okay.
still here.
Okay.
So, okay. That's a hard question to answer, only because for me to achieve great things, I need people to understand my win. I need people to hear it. And I need people to know and acknowledge that history was made. And I need people to appreciate that actually this change has had a positive impact on society. And that is in itself quite a difficult thing to do when you are a plus size woman of colour. So it's hard for me to be given the opportunity to speak my truth if nobody is giving me that platform. And I'm very grateful to everybody who has already given me some platform to stand up and talk about this success. Because I don't feel like it's a success only for me, Kevin. I feel like actually it's a success for every person who has felt unworthy. For every person who feels like they have never been represented. For people to look up Miss Great Britain and see somebody who looks like me, that's for them. You know, it's not just, oh, Kat, you know, has won something. That's obviously an achievement. Yes, it should be celebrated. But for women of colour, and especially plus size women of colour, this is a huge achievement. And people should hear about that. But I need mainstream media to pick up on it. I need, you know, some of the big guns to start sharing that story so that can reach more people, because it should be celebrated. However, I don't know whether or not maybe it's just it's not the right time, or, you know, there are obviously more pressing things in this world, however, going on, and I appreciate that. But it is still an achievement, and it's a positive move within the pageant community, which does have an impact on a lot of women in society today. And I feel like actually that is a really positive move for diversity, for inclusion.
Yes.
Lots of things.
I can tell you this. I don't know about other places, but in October here in South Florida, there had been completed the Black British Heritage Month celebrations, and again, nothing happens by accident. I think it was awesome that, you know, starting off this new month on the tail end of that. And I don't limit things to any particular period of time. You know, people celebrate, people recognize breast cancer in Breast Cancer Awareness Month and Sickle Cell Awareness Month. It doesn't go away when that month is over. So yeah, it's cool. It's all good and well. You set aside a particular point in time to recognize that thing, but that thing continues. So even though this is not Black British Heritage Month, for you to come on and represent women of color in Great Britain and by extension everywhere else, it is to be celebrated. And I agree with you. Mainstream media needs to be picking up on this. I did a Google search on Miss Great Britain and looked at images. And I had to go so far before I saw your picture. And if anybody thinks that I am lying, you do it right now. Go ahead. You try it. Google Miss Great Britain 2021. Switch to images and see when it is that you find the first image of Cat Henry. Now,
But on the flip side, Kevin, if you Google Cat Henry,
yes,
the first thing that comes up is me. Now, if you know me or you know of me and you Google search me, you will find me. And
Yes.
that just lays testament to the fact that actually my name and my title needs more publicity, because then they won't have to search Miss Great Britain. They'll know me as a person and what I stand for. And the fact that I have this title is just a platform for me to stand for all of the things that I stand for.
Yes.
Because it is me that is making that change.
Right.
And yes, but it is me wearing that crown that makes it more credible. So it's kind of like hand in hand. Like if they search for me,
Yes.
they'll find me. But if they search for Miss Great Britain, you have to go searching a little deeper before you find out that actually someone like me won it.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be like that right now. All of us, Eden, who is Miss Great Britain, Kirsty, who is our classic Ms, we've all changed history in some way this year.
Yes.
And our stories should be heard to inspire other people to make positive change in their life.
Right, because Kirsten as Miss Classic, there's a story there. There's a story with Eden being the fourth Irish to ever win, and then here you are, the very first woman of color plus size to win this coveted crown. Big deal. Big deal. If there is, and I guess this would be kind of hard to do, if you were to put everything in a little bit of a summary of what you want, and you probably alluded to it just now, what you want people to take away from meeting you, this moment right here, what would that be?
That we've changed history. That we've made new history. That we've made it possible for people who look like me to feel seen. I said before, I stand for representation. I want that for people. I want people to feel like because I did it, they can achieve it too. And I don't mean just achieve pageants, because it's that's kind of like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it.
Right.
And you either enjoy pageantry or you dislike it. However, me achieving great success being a woman of colour, a plus size woman of colour, should inspire other people to achieve their own goals. And I just want one person to sort of look at my story and say, because Kat did it, I can do it too.
I love that.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, I love that. One of the hashtags that I use is changing the narrative. And that is what you have pretty much gone and done. You have personified changing the narrative. And for that, again, I thank you. You're
Thank you.
clear across the pond. And you're there in the UK. I'm over here in the US. And we both have roots elsewhere. You know, I'm of Jamaican roots. I moved here as an adult. But it's not really about where you live as much as it is about who you are. And you, Kat, are truly a queen. Truly.
Okay.
You don't need the sash that they have put across your body and the
So,
crown.
Kevin,
It is
I
pretty.
worked hard for it.
Yes.
Let me wear it.
Oh no, I'm not telling you to take it off at all. I'm just letting people know that beyond that sash, beyond that crown, is Cat, which puts personality, puts message, puts life into that sash and crown. And that is the person that we should all be hearing about. That's the person that we should all strive to meet. That's the person that we should all strive to be. You don't need to be Cat, but you need to be the success that you can be. Fight whatever it is that is telling you, you cannot. Growing up as a child, I remember saying that I can't do something and being told there's no such word as can't. And if my mother told me this a couple of times when I was younger. What you getting frustrated for? You didn't succeed one time? Try, and try again. And these are the little things that I have taken with me through life that have gotten me to this point. And when I hear stories like yours, I just smile because it's so relatable and it is so powerful. And every chance you get, Kat, I think you should be telling your story. Because at least one person out there needs to hear it. And if you reach that one person, you've done your job. Tell people for me, please, how they can get in touch with you, how they can follow your journey.
Google me. That is the easiest way. I have my own website, which is just cathenry.co.uk.
Okay.
All of my social media channels, be it Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, they're all linkable via my website. But if you just put Cat Henry into Google, you will find me. So yeah, that's the easiest way.
Well, yeah, that's easy enough. You're not giving us a whole lot of work to do there, and I appreciate love that. Thank you very much. It's early morning in Great Britain. I'm gonna let you go. I thank you.
I start a new job tomorrow, so I should probably go to sleep.
Oh my goodness! You know what? I'm definitely gonna let you go. Congratulations on the new job, and be an inspiration to them also. This is a new opportunity for you to shine in a new place, grow where you're planted, and you have done that in every aspect of your life up until now, based on your stories. That's what I have gotten. So, continue to grow where you're planted. Kat, it's a pleasure meeting you. It's a pleasure chatting with you.
The pleasure's mine. Thank you for having me.
It's an honor and a privilege. And we will stay in touch.
Yes.
Cool. Take care. Blessings to you. Blessings to your family. Much love.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night. Or good morning.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kat Henry, Miss Great Britain 2021. What an awesome, awesome story. If you missed it, if you know someone that missed it, never fear. Go to the website, you'll see it posted there come tomorrow. Eastern time, tomorrow morning it will be there. But the podcast is always there. You can subscribe to the podcast everywhere. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. You can check out the YouTube channel of the same name. Give your support. Visit the website though. Please don't be a stranger. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do musical therapy. So the broadcast isn't done. There's some more to come. We'll be right back.
Pulse Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
Imagine having our own Caribbean Center.
Imagine a museum highlighting our history and the contributions of Caribbean people to the world.
Imagine being able to visit and learn about the islands we call home.
In a place where our kids can see and feel their cultural heritage. You can make this vision come to life.
Help us create this first-of-its-kind space
that all Caribbean people can be proud of. Your contribution to Island Space Caribbean Museum will help this dream come true.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe and donate today.
Yes, my people. Check out I Red Funks on Reggae Global Radio every Saturday at 8 p.m. with Kev Stew. We'll give you a pre-life, brand new, good for you. Kick it like a ball if you don't say a dance song. You hear that?
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. We seem to represent word and honor. Still I say DJ Kevin Stew.
Welcome back. Let's close out the night shift tonight.
We fight forever.
New music coming at you.
Forgetting how to love.
This is Red Fox. The track is called What About Love?
Love life, that's all I'm gonna see.
Yeah, this one is not yet available.
This war is not the answer. Even though
But you gotta stay tuned for it, yeah?
it seems so hard. Think slow, nothing not wanna ya.
Courtesy of MHG Productions. As we just had a chat with Miss Great Britain 2021, we asked,
Love, 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 love. What about love, 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 sweet love? What about love, 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 love?
that's the title of the track right there.
Love, 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 sweet.
So What About Love, courtesy of Red Fox.
We fight for every little thing, forgetting how to love each other.
Oh, yeah.
Love life, that's all I'm gonna see. 'Cause war is not the answer.
Oh, no.
Even though at times it seems so hard. Think slow, nothing not wanna yard. Man broke, can't find no food to ride. But we not go kill my brother. Yes, we not go still love my sister. Love, 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 love. What about love, 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 sweet love? What about love, 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 love? What about love, 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 sweet love? Work on a positive vibes, and then go from your negative strides. Remember me, I tell you more life. So that's the way you guns are unite. Now we all were made of us. Yes, one blood, one love. Here, we bridging touch. Hey, we slap my guts. So make we burn it up, spread up and stir it up. Here lives modesty, pressure and work with us. You're looking so serious, like smiling or breathe with us. Acting so devious, but mine, clean it up. Cleanse you and free it up. Man, it's not keep it up. A life full of vanity, I hear it. Seal it up. Love, 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 love.
As we bounce through, I want to say thank you to my affiliates.
Sweet love.
One Harmony Radio there in the UK.
About love, love, love.
Island Worldwide in New Jersey. Island Worldwide in New York. NIE Radio in New Jersey. The Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com out of South Florida. WGLRO, All Up Radio and Dusik Media Groups all out of Texas. PEMGTV.com. Thank you all. Thank you, TuneIn Radio.
At times it seems so hard.
Truly appreciate love each and every one of you.
Nothing like one I am. Man broke, can't find no food to ride. Chris Malachi. But we not go kill my brother. Yes, we not go still love my sister.
How many miles until I see? Counting my blessings just like an addict. Running them down, trying to score, coming my nerves. I am better yet. In this life, couldn't burn sharper. Thankful that I'm seeing clearly, no drama. Can't stop
This is Chris Malachi working out with Mark Anthony.
my journey's harder, and I know if you feel the same.
The track is called Endure.
Give praises to the Most High.
And we heard Kat tell some stories about enduring.
For the swift, but those who can endure.
What an inspiration.
It's not for the strong, I'm telling you for sure. Keep your faith, yeah. I know that God is great, yeah. The race is not for the swift. The journey is another gift, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hang tight. For For set it like this and go be the law. Thinking of a master plan, me cannot do without. Kingston to Mobile, we'll find a better route. Then we'll fly up on a tour away the bucket list then out, yeah. Family and future for secure. Read the scene and you know but the logic quick enough and show. Yeah, sure, I flow through your bones. Run at your own pace and seek a better way. The race is not for the swift, but those who can endure. The battle is not for the strong, I'm telling you for sure. Keep your faith, yeah. I know that job is great, yeah. The race is not for the swift. The journey is another gift, yeah. The race is not for the swift, but those who can endure. The battle is not for the strong, I'm telling you for sure. So keep your faith, yeah. I know that job is great, yeah. The race is not for the swift. The journey is another gift,
This is a brand new Greater Glory rhythm.
To the greater glory of God.
This is Mikey General on the title track. It's called Greater Glory.
The utmost to the highest. I'll always try my best. To the greater glory of God.
14 minutes to the top of the hour, 14 minutes before I get on out of here.
Life would be easier if you were a people pleaser. Things wouldn't get better, and it wouldn't really matter.
It's a night shift to DJ Kevin Stew Community and Finance Nights.
Sometimes you got to go
bouncing through musical therapy. Thanks to McNeil Trucking. McNeil Trucking, you're in great hands. Yeah, they say you're in good hands. I say you're in great hands.
And praises to my Creator. The utmost to the highest. I'll always try my best to the greater glory of God. We were made for each other. We are brothers and sisters, and it wouldn't be proper to see your family suffer. Do it, don't do it for yourself. Do it for Judge and say. Do it, and you will see the blessings take place. All honor and praises to my Creator. The utmost to the highest. I'll always try my best to the greater glory of God.
Those characters that hurt you, you see that you open the curtain. One thing is for certain.
This is Jafrican.
The circle.
Track is called New Beginning.
New beginning, are you willing? The sky's a ceiling, don't ever give it. Oh, 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 oh. Hey, start the chapter with no more drama. Watch out for karma, it may haunt you after. Oh, 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 oh. Hey, some say they with you, really like with you. Till reality, that's with you. Always hating you for some small issue. It's a vanity that they can't do. They can't up within their lifestyle, and they show their true colors are style. Through your blessings are flow like a fountain. As one door close, one open. But it's a new beginning. Are you willing? The skies are ceiling, don't you ever give it. Oh, 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 oh. Hey, start the chapter with no more drama. Watch out for karma, it may haunt you after. Oh, 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 oh. Listen when me I say, the message when me I send. Your life for the paper, leave it me at the pen. Use your ink for the greatness, your blessing in the end. The history you make, you can't write it again. Why over and over, we can't change the story. Every little progress, we are getting the glory. Elevate yourself because nobody no show. We still a yellow ball the ones that we did it before we. But it's a new beginning, are you willing? The skies are ceiling, don't ever give me. Oh, 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 oh. Hey,
music from Fear.
Stressful mind and individual destruction.
It's called Be Better.
Guidance in the world that we already know is disrupted. So we need to stand as one and understand the values of life. Then maybe this world will be a better future for the generation. Take your time, step up to the situation, you'll be better. Be the better one, be the better one, be the better one. All you gotta do is love, 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 love. All you gotta do is love, 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 love. Sometimes you gotta stop for a minute, take a look inside. What's deep inside your heart and soul, and if what you feeling is right, because it starts with to the situation, you'll be better. Be the better one, be the better one, be the better one. All you gotta do is love, 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 love. All you gotta do is love, 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 love. With the Most High as my keeper, I trample all backbiter. Cause I was born an overcomer, so I no fear no longer. Trample them careless whisper, step over all teeth of plunder. I am here for today and tomorrow, I know I will live forever. Sin joy wouldn't feel so sweet.
The sound of Crescenti.
No.
The track is called Joy. A reminder. Yeah, man. We couldn't really enjoy some of these things that we enjoy if we didn't go through some of the things that we went through.
We overcome life ups and downs. Oh, morning and noon. With nature, you have been keeping tune. Life disappointments have its reason. Yeah. Just like the tree, bring forth fruits in its season. Sometimes the win, sometimes the lose. But don't cry, as long as there's another day, there's always a brighter way. I sing, joy wouldn't feel so sweet because of the pain. No, sunshine wouldn't be essential because of the rain. No. Joy wouldn't feel so sweet because of the pain. No, the sunshine wouldn't be essential because of the rain. I play my part with the Most High in my heart, stepping into the light, positively out of the dark. Yeah. Eden shall fade like the wind beneath the trap. Good over evil and no negativity must get better. Born to live forever with joy in my heart. I say, shine. Oh, I will reign forever and I will sing. Joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it was a pain. No, the sunshine wouldn't be essential if it was a rain. No, joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it was a pain. No, the sunshine wouldn't be essential if it was a rain.
Set the Most High bless us, so never get left us, so yes, him never get stressed us, cause he's the sound keeper.
This is on a little Kirk.
You sit the Most High alone, I give my word.
Yeah, man, Mr. Kirk Davis himself.
Keep I down, we keep burning them windows.
It's called Can't Hold I Down.
Hold I down, what is a secret thing? This and now, maybe I count.
Yeah, man, real talk around here now.
No.
It's all about up up and away.
But right now, some men not just a shadow, yes, of the dark. Yeah, him give me that clean hands and I'm pure in heart. Me up it from the start again. Me got it clean like a wizard devil. Back away, no will no shine, no will be blessing there. Gonna be one of the most like children, but on the ball. And the whole of you know me, so listen. Can't hold lie down. You see the most like alone, I give my way the triple crown, yeah. Then can't keep lie down. We keep burning them with words, powers and sound, yeah. Can't hold lie down. Well, this a serious business, and now me go down, yeah. Can't hold lie down. Can't blame them, can't hold lie down, no time at all. We get through the storm, through the rain. Thank you for blessing me again. We tried it on the street, we run it through the lane. I went up here, gunshot, and it's a walking on the main, yeah. Father, you carry me through. When many I call about the chosen of you, me no know who are you. What if you have no clean, them who don't care about you, me I tell them. They can't hold lie down. You sit the most and alone, I give my way the check crown, yeah. They can't keep lie down. We keep burning them with words, powers and sound, joy. Can't hold lie down. Well, this a serious business, and I'm gonna go down. Why, yeah, say, though I want you, the valley of the shadow of death. I say, I am not shall fear, not a evil. Oh, Jack is with me, he's rather this time. I know we shall rock you, you know, Jack shall protect if I can get Jack will lie down. You see the most I alone, I give my birth, I check the crown, yeah. Then Jack keep lie down. We keep burning them with words, powers and sound, yeah. Jack will lie down. But it's a serious business, and now we're going to crown, die. Jack will lie down.
Track called Can't Hold I Down. And as we wrap up things here, Sharon, I want to play this song just for you. Coming up in a few hours, as we approach the Earth date of Yanisha. You know, I want to play this song as a reminder to you to keep on doing what you're doing, to never give up.
Of course, it will get better. Of course, don't give up.
No matter what, it might be rough sometimes.
Don't you ever walk away.
I'm with you, cuz.
Don't you quit, cannot play with it, don't give up.
The sound of the Twiggy one. Twiggy.
Pray upon it. Don't you ever walk.
It's called Don't Give Up.
Don't you quit, cannot play with it,
I want to remind y'all that are still listening, look out for members of your community. And remember, your community is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide, yeah? So whether you walk, ride, or drive, take the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, the people you pass along the way, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. As we are inspired to stay true to what we're doing,
don't you ever walk away from it.
Go ahead and climb over that boulder, look back at it and realize that it's just a stepping stone.
I am begging you to stay upon it, pray upon it.
Whatever that adversity that you've been through,
walk away from it.
You've taken to it, you've been taken to it, you're going through it, so that you can look back at it and say you've done it.
Throwing the
My name is DJ Kevin Student, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Community and Finance Night tonight. Thank you to Kat Henry, Miss Great Britain 2021. Thank you for the inspirational vibe, the inspiring words, for that great story. That's right, cuz I love you.
Don't you ever walk away from it. Don't you quit, cannot play with it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world from right here in South Florida. I bid you all a good night.
Shoop, shoop, shooby-dooby-doo. The wagon listen, we won't come follow you. Give thanks for everything. Success and favor, your hard work will bring day. Shoop, shoop, shooby-dooby-day.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune into the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.